Hey y'all, Rhonda here. I have something new. I know. So SIZZIX new scoring board and trimmer, slice and dice and box maker, banner maker, rosette. It takes out the trash. I don't know. We're gonna find out. I haven't opened this. I've seen a very little bit about it as far as social media, but not much at all. So I don't know if this is like a soft opening, a soft release, or what the deal is. But we just got this in, and I thought we'd take a look at it and see what the what. Um, it is large. The box is anyway. Can't even get it on the screen. I mean, I have to back way, way, way up. So this is what the box looks like. Like I said, it's a big one. Has a little handy dandy carrying handle there. So I guess let's just jump right into it. Let me see if I can back up just a little bit. Without seeing all my mess here. Let me back up, back around. I may have to adjust a little bit more, but we shall see. Okay, we'll just go with it and then, see what happens. Okay, so let me turn this around and we will open. The only thing I did do was there's little circles of adhesive. I did cut those so I wouldn't have to fight with them. Okay, I am going to hit you. Let me back this out a little bit because I want you to see. Oh, look, there's a little hello. Can you see it? Hello, SIZZIX maker. Okay, cool. And this is what it looks like. We have, all right. So I had to let Boo Boo Kitty in here. So we have a little booklet here, scoring board and trimmer. Contents. I mean, that's quite a bit here. All right, so we'll check that out in a minute. Looks like I mean, it's very well packaged. All four corners are like this. There is, let me see, I'm gonna scooch down just a little bit. There is, looks like an extra blade right here. And then the actual machine. So let's pull this out. Here, Boo Boo Kitty over there playing. Okay, I'm gonna be moving you around a little bit until we get this all unloaded here. All right. Have these little handle things that are in the way. Okay. So this is just a little empty box, but don't throw that away. Like I said, that's an extra blade. So that would be very easy to do. Then we have our little corner pieces. Wow, this is kind of hefty here. All right, and then we have some sort of chart. And we have, looks like a scan QR code for quick and easy support tips and tricks. There it is in several languages. But anyway, that's a cool looking box. Okay, so let's get this out of the way without bumping you. Okay, come on, cooperate a little bit. There we go. All right, so let me do a little switcheroo here. Let's see what's on. Here's the back of it. So trim, score, and make envelopes with one easy tool, reversible scoring board for both imperial and metric measures, lift up handle for easy paper insertion and clean, straight cuts, removable corner, removal and easy change blade. Okay, so it goes on. Anyway, so there's a little bit of what's in it. Very nice packaging. Very nice. Okay, let's get this to the side. Out of the way. All right. Got a little piece of plastic there. Okay, let's just look at this first. And this has a little heft to it. I mean, that's impressive. Let me get my little tweezer there so I don't lose it. But yeah, and it's you've got to have some room because it's hanging off. I mean, here's the end of my desk and it's hanging off. So it's substantial. All right, let me see if I can get you back up here. Sorry if I'm making you car sick here. Just trying to get all I can in frame. All right, that's a little distracting. All right, get all that. Okay, so again, it's excuse me, hefty. It looks like we have some punches here at the top. Nice instructions. Oh nope, a little pause down there. Looks like we have a scoring tool and has a little line in there, maybe for some bending of paper. Okay, then we have our score here. We have measurements here. We have a measurement device here. Okay, I just pulled up on this just gently, and then it kind of clicked in. So we have inches. Looks like on both sides. I'm sure that'll be something for when we move it around. And I believe they said, I don't want to do it, that there's metric on the other side. Here's something that says align, and here's score. Measurements here. This opens up to put your paper. Here's for your, this is your blade. Okay, then it says inches. The only thing is, I don't, on all of these, there are measurements along the side here, and you can barely see them. And there's measurements down here also. There's measurements here. Lots of measurements here. More here. So I wish they would, you know, color that in, do something, because you would never know by looking at that. I mean, that's, So I'm sure I'll probably take, I don't know, is that recessed? Yeah. Okay, can you see? Okay, that's recessed. The numbers and the notches are recessed. So I may take some ink or something and rub over it. I mean, I kind of hate to do that, but you can't see that. And obviously, I mean, it's important. Measurements here, down the bottom, across the bottom, and over here, lots of measurements. So, okay. This says envelope. So there's measurements here and here, and 2 different sets of measurements in each box. Okay. So it's giving you a little instruction there. So this is in inches, and it looks like we have the same thing in centimeters. Again, with measurements here along the bottom, and then each square has measurements. Okay. And we have quite the book. So this goes over. These actually come out. So I guess you could use them by themselves individually. There's a, yep. So it's a little punch, and there's a guide, lineup guide. So this is obviously for an envelope. Is there notches to put that in? Okay. And this one, let's see, come on. Yep. So no lines there, but it just punches a hole, and that's pretty substantial. Okay. Looks like it has some little notches to help you guide it back in there where it's supposed to go. And then this one, does it not come out? Maybe it doesn't come out. Okay, I'm not going to force it because I don't know yet. Okay, so here's, we have a trim mode, envelope mode, and then you see this arm is going to rotate for the different actions that it's going to do. Score mode, so 15, 30, 45, 60, and 75 degree angle, 90 degree angle. So it looks like it has little marks here on the side to help you line up for the different degrees of angle. Basic user guide. Okay, so scoring board. Pull scoring board to release. Select desired unit of measurement. All right. So it does have, down here at the bottom, there is, can I get it up? See that little notch right there? So a little thumb hold. And, say just to pull. Yep, okay. So this just pulls out, slides out. There's a little track that it's in. All right. So I was trying to see. So right down here it says in inches, which again, it's very hard to see. I don't like that. This is nice and sturdy, I will say that. So on this side it does say centimeters, has a little thumb notch there. And these little tabby things that slide in the track. Yeah, I'm really not into not being able to see the measurements. If you put it in the light, you can see. I mean, maybe you guys are okay with that. I'm not. That is just very difficult, and if you don't have just the right lighting, and I don't want to have to do this to try to see that. Okay, we'll figure that out. So we're just going to slide this in, back in. And it, okay. And let me say, this is not a sponsored video by any means, nothing like that. It was just something new. I want to check it out, and we're just going from there. Let's see what else it says. So basic user guide. Okay, we are doing that. Okay, slide and lock scoring board into the base. All right, and then we have our measuring tool. It says push clip and lift measuring tool. Push cliff, or lift. Okay, does that mean that? And lift. Push down. Oh, okay, so the whole, okay, well, obviously that whole thing moves. So it's showing that this is supposed to release. Okay, what am I doing? Push clip and lift measuring tool, and then select desired size. Okay, so I'm pushing it, lifting it. Okay, but the whole thing comes and it's not supposed to, I don't think. Okay, I'll come back to that and see what the what is. You're supposed to be able to flip this over. Okay, but that does come like this. Okay, I don't want to break it. I'll check it out again in a minute. Okay, then it says trimmer. It says lift the trimmer here, this side. Put your paper in. And you're going to align it. So here's your measurements up here, whether you choose inches or centimeter, which is on the other side. And then just like regular trimmers. Okay, and then replacing the blade. Pull clip and lift rail. Okay, so that's down at this end. Right down here. This little thing right here. Okay. Okay, then it shows you how to replace the blade. Continue, let's see. Okay, and then here is lift angle hub to release measuring tool. Okay, so it's saying to lift this little circle up, lift it up gently, and then that should release for this to move. And then it does have measurements here. Okay, the measurements right here to help you line up, and there's a little tiny arrow right here on the white. So right here is a 45-degree angle, and you notice how it kind of clicks in. So you pull it up and then rotate. So there is a 30-degree, there's a 60-degree, okay, there you go, 70-degree and 90-degree. And you notice how it kind of pops up and then clicks back in. Okay, and so it stays. So I was able to move it that way, but I can't move it back this way unless I pull this up and then rotate it back, and then it kind of clicks into place. All right, then we have punches here. Side material, okay, requires a punch. Okay, so here's your different punches, so you'll have to turn this around. So this is giving you two different corners. Come on. Well, I got it out a while ago. There we go. All right, so it's showing you that this side gives you this little angle, and then this side gives you that on the corner. Okay, so two different corner punches. It just fits in and pops in like that. All right, and it shows that they're all removable. So if you wanted them, you know, I don't know, I would think I would leave them in there. I think they'd be a little easy to lose. So here's cards. It's about measuring and then scoring. Envelopes. So it's showing you how to make the envelopes, and I will read this and then we will do it all together. Okay, and then here's making tags. And then boxes. So we have the base and then we have the top. So important, oh, there's, okay, there's metric. So here's the two different measurements, stock sizes. Banners, and then here it says scan the QR code for your envelope and box generator and supporting tips and tricks. All right, so it didn't explain about this, which I will find out. It doesn't give, so I guess it's saying here a guide. Okay, the bottom number, the light number, is the scoring, and the top bold number is the cutting. All right, we will find that out. All right, well, I'm going to read through this a little bit and come back, and then we will play with this a little bit. I just wanted to get it out just to do a little unboxing and see what it's all about, and we will go from there. But again, it's sturdy. This reminds me a little bit of the We Are, do I have it handy? I have to look. The We Are board that does, you know, like 15 different things. This is much more substantial, and we'll kind of play with it and maybe compare it to the We Are board a little bit. But again, you're going to have room because, let me see if I can get a measurement on this. So there is 12 inches. So, so it's like 16 inches long, and there's 12, and let me go around this way a little bit. 12, 13, maybe about 13 and a half inches wide, approximately there. So you've got to have room. It doesn't fold or anything. So you're going to have, like I said, plenty of room to work with this. So we will find out. All right, let me do a little reading and research, and I'll be right back. Hey y'all, it's actually the next day. I played with this a little bit, and you see my scraps over here. Anyway, we're just going to play some more. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. All right, we'll just see. All right, by no means am I a professional paper crafter by any means. I've been doing it for a little while. I do cut a lot of paper. I do a lot of measuring. But I was really excited about this, and I just, I don't know. Let's just keep playing. All right, so I'm just going to cut a A2 size card, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So this is an 8 1/2 by 11 piece of paper. So 8 1/2, which you score it in the middle, it'll give you a card. You want it 8 1/2, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. We want it 5 inches tall. So there's a little lever down here. I don't know if you can see. Anyway, a little lever. I probably can't. Like I said, this is hefty. You've got to have some room to use this. So put that back. I'm going to line up at 5 1/2, and you can butt this up against here. So 5 1/2. I'm going to shut this, and as far as holding it, I guess I'm just going to hold it right here on this little piece of plastic, because you've got to have something to, I mean, you just can't start cutting because it's just going to move your paper. So I am going to hold it right there and cut, which it cuts beautifully. Okay, so we should have 2 cards that are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I noticed something. There is not a lip over here, and there's not a lip down at the bottom. So when you're lining your paper up to score, it starts at 3 right here. So is it, I guess 1 starts right here, butted up against this. Okay. Anyway, I'm just going to butt it up against here. I'm going to fold it in half. Let's see what I do with my scoring tool. Whoops, did I put it back like I was supposed to? Yep. And I noticed something. They sell these just individual. This is a great scoring tool. I don't think in the instructions it tells you why it's split. I'm trying to think, like a new crafter. Would a new crafter enjoy this? Would it be beneficial for them? But if you have a flower or something and you need to give it a little zhuzh, you can put it in there and then pull, and it makes a little curved, you know, for your flower tips or whatever. So you can go either way. So in the instructions, I don't think it said exactly what that's for. Anyway, these are sold individually. So I'm just going to butt it up against that. I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to use my bone folder to go down like this and crease. And that does a fantastic job. It doesn't wrinkle or anything. So that's really nice. So we have an A2 size card, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. All right. So now we need to make an envelope. So how do you get your measurements for the envelope? Well, on the instructions, it has a few here. It says stock size, Imperial A7 card, and it says 7 3/4 by 7 3/4. So I'm assuming that you cut a 7 3/4 by 7 3/4, and it says align to ruler, step number 4, at 7 1/2. Okay, So, and then here's an A6, A5, an Imperial Slimline, and a square envelope. So, all right, so there's that, and then it also comes in the centimeters. So this little handy dandy chart, one side is centimeters and one side is inches. This is the inches. So you have a ruler over here, one at the bottom, and then you have all these squares with all these little numbers, and then you have this little chart up here. So it's telling you that the light number, the number 7, is scoring, I'm assuming, and then the 5.5 is cutting, is what I'm gathering from that little icon. So this is envelope table. All right, so just gonna put it right there. So what I gather from the instructions, what did I do with my card now? Have I lost my mind? Oh, there it is. Okay. What you do is you take your card and you put it right here in this corner, which the little arrow is telling you, you line it up here in the corner, like you're measuring it. All right. So where this corner meets the square, that's your information. So I need to cut, it says 8, and then it has 7 and 11/16. So I need to cut a piece of paper that's 8 by 8, and then I'm going to line up my paper at the 7 and 11/16. All right, so let's cut a piece of paper 8 by 8. Grab this. I just had some cardstock that I don't use. I don't know why I got this. Maybe on sale or something. I don't know. All right, so it said 8. See, that's kind of the issue here. Okay, 8.5. No, okay, 8 by 8. Put that to the side here. So we're going to line this up at the 8. And it lines up, you know, really pretty well. What I did with my all-in-one scoreboard from We Are Memory Keepers is a measurement, a couple of measurements that I use quite often. I just took a Sharpie, not the fat one, but the real fine tip, and I just drew a line. So it's just easier to see, because when you look at all these, they kind of run together. All right, so again, I'm buttoning this up. I'm going to hold it here and then cut. Again, it cuts beautifully. I'm going to rotate it, line it up at the 8, and cut. All right, so I have an 8 by 8 square to make the envelope for my A2 size card. And it said, all right, so on the instructions, to make the envelope, this little jobber right here, okay, you're going to lift it so it will swing, and you're going to line this up. There's a little arrow right there, and there's a little teeny tiny envelope shape, and it clicks in. Okay, so it clicks in there, but you notice there's it'll just keep going. Okay, so it won't go back this way, so you need to keep it taut this way. I mean, if it comes in just a little bit, it's going to throw you all off. All right, it's a little bit that I don't care for. Okay, so we're going to line our paper up here, and it says at the 7 and 11/16. All right, I'm okay with math, but I think if you're going to use those type of measurements, which all of these, I mean, here's 7 and 7/16, here's 13/16, 1/8. I mean, if you're going to use those kind of measurements, I think you should put those measurements on here. Okay, I have a ruler that I got from Amazon. This is a Victor, and it has all of those measurements on there. So I don't know why they couldn't have done that if you're going to be using those type of measurements. Just saying. All right. So back to, what did I say? 8 by 8, and we need to score. You have to lay this back on here at 7 and 11/16. All right, so there is 7 right there, and 11/16. I have to look here, and maybe y'all know all of these just right offhand. I don't. It's short-term memory. I don't use them enough. So there's 3/4 and back off. Okay, so right there should be my 7 and 11. Oops. I'm looking here. 11/16. 3, 4. Okay, yep. Okay, should be right there. And again, okay, let me just keep going. All right, so this is butted up. So you see this right here where it says score, and then this says align. All right, and there's a little notch in there and a little notch right there. So the first time, and this is just like the We Are envelope board, which is very simple to use. The main thing is you've got to know that the first time when you line it up, you're going to score. And we're just going to score down like this. Scores beautifully. Hope it didn't move too much. Okay, so then you're going to rotate it, and this score line right here, whoops, you're going to line that up with the align marker right there. Okay, so I know it's hard to see, but right here's my score line, and it's lined up with that little notch where it says align. Okay, so that's up against there. So then we're going to score. Okay, then we're going to rotate again. And right there is my score line. I'm lining that up with the align mark. Okay, then I'm going to go up here and I'm going to score. And I'm going to, rotate one more time and line it up right there. And then I'm going to go up here and score. Okay, we get all sides. All right, so we have all sides here. So on this one, if you notice, if you can see, it crisscrosses right there. There's a little spot right there. And it's that way in all corners. There's a little triangle in all four corners. Okay, so let's put this out of the way here. That's what you're going to use. You can take and turn this whole thing around if you wanted to, or you can just pop these out. Okay, so on this one, it shows your little envelope. There's a dotted line and then two lines, solid lines on either side. What you're going to do is, and I know it's kind of hard to see because those lines are faint, those two solid lines you're going to line up with this score mark and that score mark. It's going to fit right in that little triangle. All right, so line those up and punch, and it's fairly easy to punch, and then that's what it gives you, and it cuts that little triangle out where it had crisscrossed. And then you go around and you do each corner, lining the solid lines up with the solid lines. And one more time. Okay, so this is what we have. Get rid of those. And this little one we can just put right back on the little holder. All right, then this one is a little hard to get out. Okay, so you see it has the two different sides. All right, so this is just the rounded. So we're going to take each corner, put it in there, and we're going to round it off so you can see what it looks like. Yes, and Boo Boo Kitty got me again. We play, it's not his fault. I play rough with him sometimes, and anyway, we were having fun. I didn't even know he got me till we were all done. Okay, all right, put that back in its little holder. Get rid of those little pieces. So this is what we have in our score marks. So when you score it, it goes down like this. You want to score into the little bump. All right. So there's your bottom and your sides and your top. And if you want to, make it crisp like this. Okay. And then what I do to glue it, you can use wet glue or you can use score tape. I usually put a bead or a little piece of score tape here, and then also in here, not all the way up, and here about 3/4 up, okay? Because that's going to adhere closer, and this is going to adhere further out, okay? So there's your envelope, and there's your A2 size card, which it's not bad. You have, there's room in there, you can kind of see. So if you make it a little fluffy, you have plenty of room. All right. So there's your card and there's your envelope. Now let's make a box. I'm going to go off to the next one. So there's our envelope and boxes. All right, so on this, it gives you measurements over here. This is your inches and then your centimeters, your metric. So here's a small box, medium, large, and a rectangle box. Stock sizes, it has box, the box size, and then the lid size. And then score edge, score from edge, anyway, box and lid. All right, so if I want a 2x2x2 box, I'm going to cut a 6x6 piece of paper, and then I'm going to score at 2 inches. All right, so let's just do the small box. Okay, so again, I need a 6x6 piece of paper. Let's just cut that. Like I said, I'm impressed with the cutter. I just, most of the time, cutters have, you know, a little plastic bump out piece of sorts where you can push down. Because if not, if I'm going from the other way, it'll start moving it. It's not even going to cut. All right. So let me measure, get this out of the way. Measure 6 inches. It's pretty easy to line up. You can hold your paper, I guess, or you can hold this plastic piece, you know, push it down, or do both. And then cut. Again, cuts beautifully. And let's do another 6 measurement. Okay, so we have our 6x6 guide here. And this tells us, okay, and it's showing here, trim material to required stock size. 2, okay, we're going to start scoring. So our box 6x6 box, we're going to score it 2 inches on all 4 sides. All right, so if you butt this up against this part right here, I don't know where the 2 is. Right there's a 3, there's I'm sure a 2.5. There's measurements right here to help guide you, but I can't see them. Okay, looks like that's a 2, but that's a really skinny, I really don't think you could score much on that one where these are really deep. So I don't think those are meant to be scored. I think it's just meant to be measurements for exactly what, I don't know. All right, so I'm just going to line this up at 3. So it says I need to score 2 inches in, so there's 1, there's 2. So I'm going to score at 5 inches, okay. And then I noticed right here, trying to do this, there's no notches up here on this piece where you could stick your tool and then go down. So what you have to do is line it up and then scooch it down a little bit. Okay, so there's 1, 2. So I'm going to do it at the 5 to be able to get in one of those little scoring divots. And I hope that it's even. I guess you could go backwards, push it up against there. I'm at the 3. I need to score at the 5, so I could go down to the bottom and come up and score that way. Okay, so I'm going to rotate it. Again, line it up at the 3. Did I do that one? Yeah, line up at the 5. Okay. Line up at the 3. Need 2 inches in. I'm just going to pull it down a little bit. Hopefully it's straight. So I can get a little divot there to put my scoring tool in. I'm going to rotate again. Line it up at the 3. Then 5, which is going to give me 2 inches in. I'm measuring 2 inches in on all 4 sides. And 5. Okay. So this is, it looks like a tic-tac-toe, if you could see that. Looks like tic-tac-toe. All right, so it's showing you 2 ways to make boxes. Both of them you start out like this. You can cut. Let's see if it shows right here. Okay, that's tags, boxes. Okay. Let me open this up. So you can either, okay, here's 1 and 2. So you're going to cut your size. You're going to score on all 4 corners. Both, okay, no matter what size, I mean, which box you're going to make. Okay. So one of them you're going to score a little bit more. The other one you're going to cut. So let's just do the scoring one. So we have our 4 cord, or it's going to be a 2-inch box. Okay. We scored it 2 inches in on all 4 sides. Okay, so on this one it says, once step 1 and 2 have been completed, we are going to move measuring tool and align hub to envelope mode. All right, so again, we're going to pull up on this and we're going to rotate it to where this little envelope is located. Okay, right there. Again, don't keep moving because it'll keep clicking. You want it where it's a little taut back that way. All right. So then, okay, we're going to do that. Score all corners using scoring notch and fold and form tool, which is this. Fold is shown next to create the lid. All right. So you kind of have to read the pictures. It is showing. Okay, for this corner, we need to tuck this under there. We need to align this corner with the score, and we're going to score down to where these score marks meet. Okay, so you need to hold your paper and go down, which it's off just a little. If I go down a little bit, will that work? Okay. So I'm going to fold a little bit so you can see. So there's a corner. Okay. And then what we did is we just scored from point to point. And we're going to do that on this next corner, and this corner. So we're going to line it up with the little score mark here. And you have to push gently. And once you get it going, you can kind of go over it. Okay. All the way down to that where it intersects. Next one. Which that's off a little bit. I need to go down a little further. And one more. All right. So this is what we have. I'm just going to fold it so you can see. Just fold in all 4 sides. That was our 2-inch in that we did. Okay. And then each corner we scored in the middle. Like so. So you can kind of see what we have now. All right. I'm going to move this back out of the way. So what it's telling you now is you want these little pieces to come inward. So fold them in, fold them in, fold it in, fold it in. This is what it looks like. So these two are going to come together, and then it's going to form one side. This one's going to come together, go across, and those are just kind of going to go just like that. Okay, so here's a box. So you're going to have to glue here, and maybe even in between to get those flat. Okay, so there's a small box, 2 by 2. You can't adjust the height. I mean, it's not giving you any measurements to adjust the height. Everything's going to be 2 inches, it looks like. So if you do a little math, I mean, you could figure it out. If you just want a box with, 1-inch sides, you could do that. But you're going to have to do that on your own, it looks like. All right, I'm just going to use this same piece here because you cut it out the same, you score it the same, except for this corner part. You're not going to do that. So what this is telling you is you need to cut from here to this corner where this intersects, the scoring intersects. So we're going to line that up, and it's a little hard to see. So you can see the line, or you can just cut down to the 2, which I'm just going to cut down to the 2. Okay, and there is just a little, there's a little tiny notch right there that you can line up to where, that little notch, you line it up to 2, that's where you're cutting. You line it up to 3, that's where it's cutting. All right, so this is what you have. All right, so then we need to go to the other side and and cut. And make sure, yep. Because what you're doing is making little flaps. Line that up. That just kind of pushed into the paper. That's not. Okay, I'm going to put my mark on the 2 and shut it and go up. Okay, because all it was doing was pushing on the paper. So we're going to do the other sides. We'll try it again. On the cut. Oh. Did a little better this time. It's still kind of push the paper. Okay, and we're going to do it on the other side. Line that up. Go down the 2. All right, so now this is what we have. Okay, so we're going to bring these 2 in together, put them in, fold it into each other, and this side's going to come up. Same thing on this side. You're going to bring these two in, one over the other, and this one on the outside. Let me do this. Okay. So you're going to glue down all these. You're going to glue here, here, okay, here, and here. And so this made the same box just a little different way. Why do we need to do it two different ways? You know, is it because I like this way and you like the other way? I don't know. But, so there's a little box. All right, and then to do the lid, you do the same thing. You're just going to cut, it says on here, small box. The lid, you're going to cut a piece of paper, 4 1/16 by 4 1/16, and you're going to score at 1 inch all the way around. You're going to fold it the same way, or you can cut it the same way, and then you'll have your little box. All right, and then we have banners. Let's go to the tags. Let's just make a tag real quick, which is back here, maybe. Cards, envelopes, matrix, boxes, banners. Well, I know tags are in here because I saw them. Basic user guide, continued, envelopes, envelope matrix. Oh, tags right there. Okay. Okay, it says trim material to desired tag size. All right, then rotating the measuring tool to 45-degree position. And it says trim corner, taking care not to trim over the center line. And then note, I'm sorry, this is so small, note where the bottom edge of the tag aligns with the ruler. Flip tag over and realign. All right, and then it has the little hole punch. All right, so let's make a tag. We'll use one of my scrap pieces over here. And I'm assuming it starts right there. This is 5.5. Let's make a smaller tag. Let's do a 3-inch tag, 3-inch wide tag. And again, I'm holding down firm, cutting. Okay, so this is 3 by, so measuring right there by 5 3/4. All right, so we're gonna pull up on this, and then we're gonna rotate this to the 45 degrees. So there's very small on here. There's 30, there's 45, 60, 75, and 90. Okay, we're going to go until we hit the 45, which is right there. And I guess we just kind of decide how we want the corner to be cut. Because it says rotate it to the 45-degree angle, trim corner, taking care not to go past the center line, and then realign and then punch your hole. Okay. So let's line it up at the 7, the bottom. I'm lining it up at 7 inches. I'm going to hold this and then trim. Okay, so this is what we have. So I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to line up the bottom again at the 7-inch mark. Close that, and then I want to cut. Go up that way. And that's my tag. Okay, and then we have this little hole punch, which we can bring over. Get this out of the way. So we're just going to put it in the slot right here. And it feels kind of square in there. It's, you know, kind of snug. And then we're going to press that, and we have a little hole. And there's our tag. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, that's not the tag shape that I really wanted, but I'm guessing, you know, when I'm putting it over here, I'm kind of eyeballing, well, I am eyeballing it, and then just making note of where the bottom, you know, where it lines up, so I can flip it over and, you know, make it the same, but that's not exactly how I would do that. All right. Well. I hope this was helpful. Like I said, this is not sponsored by any means. I was just excited we got it in. I was very excited to bring this home and try it. And I have to say I was a little disappointed. I don't know if anybody out there has this and you love it. Let me know. If you see that I'm doing something wrong, let me know in a nice way, please. I just don't think that it's very user-friendly. I just think that they could have, I mean, being SIZZIX, they need a lip here. You need to be able to butt your paper up against something to measure, you know, to hold it, to be able to score. Because there's nothing there. And this over here is really not, I mean, you're not butting it up against there either, unless you hold that down. So there's no lip on the bottom. You can't see the measurements. Tons of great measurements. Can't see any of those, so I'm going to have to take some paint or some ink on my finger, rub it in there and wipe it off, and then the ink or paint will settle in there so I can see it. If you're going to have measurements like all of these, I mean, I don't think there's a normal, you know, 1 1/2, 1 3/4, 1 1/4. These are all, like I said, 5/16, 11/16, 1/8, there's 1/2, 13/16, 9/16, 7/8. If you're going to have measurements like that, you need to have the markings on your measurements, on your rulers here, because I'm sure I'm not alone where you're going to have to get a ruler that has that on there. I mean, if you know all these right offhand, power to you. I think it's great. I'm going to have to get my ruler out and, you know, say, okay, this line and this line, and okay. And if I'm the only one that has to do that, then I'm sorry. It's just my fault. But, you know, this was an inexpensive ruler, and it has all of the measurements on there. Why couldn't they do it on here? Like I said, it's made well. It's hefty. These little cutters cut great. Love the scoring tool. It cuts great for the most part. Like I said, it's just, are you supposed to hold the paper here? Hold it here, both. You know, sometimes when it was pulling, it could have been the paper, but it does cut, you know, really, really well. And it's cutting little slivers off there. So I like that. It scores really well. I like the scoring tool. But, I don't know, it has some nice features as far as the centimeters and the inches, where this plate right here comes off. You flip it over and slide it back in and you have your inches. This comes off, which it's not easy to come off. You push this, excuse me, down, and this comes off, but you have to be careful and not pull the whole thing because you'll break it, it looks like. Ooh, that was scary. Okay. And then turn that over, but it has little notches in there, which is great. It holds it in, but I'm a little scared to pull it, to flip it over, because I'm going to break those little notches off. Can you see what I'm saying? Okay, there it goes. So it has the little notches that keeps it in there, which is fantastic. Like I said, here's the centimeters, and you could use it either way. You could spin it around, so it's giving you measurements on either side. So I'm going to put this, slide it in there, slide it there. So if you want to work with it like this, you still have all your measurements. See, this just turned around. I mean, you line it up. If you want to work with it like this, you have to cut left-handed if you're right-handed. I don't know. I'm just a little disappointed. I mean, you know, that's all I'm going to say. I'm just a little disappointed. So let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. I'm anxious to find out. I couldn't find any YouTubes on this thing, so I don't know if it's just, like I said, a little soft release, and they're going to see how it goes, or what, but I couldn't find. SIZZIX had a couple little videos, but it was just a little quick, you know, with the music and the, oh, cut here and the little box, yay, you know, one of those things, but that's all I could find right now. So, anyway, I'm going to keep playing with it. I mean, you know, it's a little investment. I'm going to keep playing with it, and maybe I'll get better at it. Maybe I'll find out how to work it a little bit better and be more satisfied with it, I'm hoping. Anyway, let me know what you think. Until next time, bye for now.